Welcome to the live dates section of the 3 Girls a Day product. In this section, I'm basically going to break down for you girls that I went on dates with from online, and I'm going to take it from the first message all the way through the phone conversation, all the way through the date, and I'm going to narrate the key points of each. Some of it will have been edited, i.e. like some of the dates are obviously like 3 hours, 4 hours long, so we're editing to key points on the date. But especially in the text and phone conversation, we're going to leave as much in as we possibly can. And I narrate it out for you so that you see, number one, that we are taking the interaction from start to finish with the same girl, but also so you yourself get that full picture of how the interaction kind of telescopes and how the text conversation can affect the phone conversation, can affect the date, and how it all is one continuous sort of dialogue and interaction. So without further ado, let's crack into the first text conversation. Actually, the first three, the first month's worth of texts and dates and all that come from Sydney, Australia. I actually traveled down there, and I decided when I went down there to just hit up some dates on my way, just kind of casually while I was doing my other work. So I have 3 dates from Sydney to bring to you this month. So this particular girl, I started off, I had my assistant message her, and the first message she happened to get sent sort of randomly out of sort of the tumbler of messages that I send was, "Haha, I'm flattered, but I think we should get to know one another a bit better first." The idea with this message is essentially you're acting as though she messaged you first. So if she buys into that frame, obviously that can work. Most of the time they won't buy into it, but the fact that they're not buying into it, a lot of times they'll respond, "Oh, I don't think I messaged you," or something like that. But at least you've now broken contact. She's messaging you something, and so you have an in. It is a situation where you'll get a high response rate, but you have to do some turnaround work, and that's exactly what happened in this case. Is she sort of shit tested and called me out on it. So her next message was, "Sorry, not sure what you mean. Don't think I messaged you before." Now, this is extremely, extremely logical on her part. It's a shit test as well. Most of the time, girls just respond with question mark, or don't know what you're talking about, or something like that. In which case, a lot of times, I'll continue the frame and play it up. I'll be like, haha, don't play coy. It's not, I think you're cute and all, but really, honestly, I'm not that kind of boy. So I'll play that up. But because she was so logical with it, I didn't think that would work, and because she was so explicit with it. So in this case, I went a slightly different route, and here's what I messaged. "Well, you described me in such glowing terms in your profile, winky face." Okay, now this worked in this particular case because her profile had an extensive section about the type of guy that she was looking for. So I just misinterpreted as though I wasn't trying to play any kind of gimmicky game. I was just like, "Oh, you talked about me in your profile, so I just thought I'd message you," kind of thing. So I tried to play it off that way. I tried to misinterpret it as though she had complimented me, sort of not even in her message, but in the way she'd written her profile about me. It's an interesting try, kind of a different approach than what I usually take, but it does suit the format for how to pass a shit test. You misinterpret it and get on with it, it works. But let's see what she did next. "LOL, so this is your pickup line." Now this is a very clear shit test. So again, we need to treat it as a shit test, and as we know from the basic format outlined in the product, essentially the way you pass a shit test is to agree and exaggerate or misinterpret, or potentially to change the subject in some kind of fun or funny way. In this case, I decided to go with misinterpretation, so I treated it like a compliment in a sense, and here's what I wrote. "Sure, if by pickup line you mean casual flirtation with an intriguing girl, then maybe. The girl seems pretty okay so far," and then the little tongue out emoticon. Okay, so here I am again misinterpreting the idea of pickup line as though it can have a positive connotation instead of a negative connotation. So that's my misinterpretation here. And then what I do is I challenge her back. I say the girl seems pretty okay so far, etc. And this is congruent with my misinterpretation. My misinterpretation is that I'm just flirting with a cute, intriguing girl, and then maybe you are that girl. So not only am I passing the shit test, I'm trying to give her a shit test back. So I'm trying to put it back harshly. And that's because the way that I passed the shit test was a little harsh, and it wasn't particularly clever or biting. So I felt like I needed a little more in this case. So I overtly put the test back on her. But let's see what she wrote in response. So she writes back, "Haha, good one." And then she double texts, "Are you European? You look kinda Italian." Okay, so this is extremely positive by comparison to what we've been getting. We were getting before was shit test. Now we're getting haha, good one, which is a compliment, although not very committal. And then a logical question, and trying to ask me to do more, asking to know more about me. That's very, very, very positive. So I would read into that she definitely likes me. That means it's time to start moving the conversation forward. So my following text was, LOL, I'm actually American, but thanks. Are you adventurous? This "Are you adventurous" line is actually something that I adopted from my Tinder game. Because in Tinder, I like to keep it very short and to the point, and so within a couple messages, I'll do "Are you adventurous" as the start of my closing sequence. What I've been doing in the past for closing was, hey, how do you feel about drinks and witty banter with a cute boy? How do you feel about flirtation, conversation, libation, that kind of thing? And this is a one-step longer closing process. It's "Are you adventurous?" If she says yes to that, then I'll go into the whole setting up drinks in a sort of oblique way, and then making the drinks about me, and then getting a number. So it's actually like, instead of my normal 3-step close, it's a 4-step closing process. It's a bit longer, but in this case, because she'd given shit tests a couple times before getting into the more complimentary question asking type stuff, I felt it was helpful. Also, it seemed like, because her answers were so short, I didn't want to get into some long-winded close. So I just decided to go for this slower close in this case. But this is definitely the start of escalating to close. So the format again is followed, where she starts to give a positive. I start with, in this case, an extremely soft close. So she replies, I am adventurous, LOL. What about you? What brought you to Oz? Again, asking questions. Then she double texts, where in the US are you from? So again, clearly she's very interested. She's asking tons of questions. She's double texting. I mean, it's extremely positive. So again, I want to answer these questions as briefly as possible and then move on towards closing. So what I wrote was, I'm from Colorado originally, and my company does a lot of business in Australia. How do you feel about asking one another questions over drinks and soft lighting rather than the glare of a computer screen? So this is a bit more direct than my usual, how do you feel about drinks and witty banter with a cute boy, whatever. So in this case, the first time I was actually less direct than usual. She gave more positive response, and now I'm pretty confident. So now I'm actually cutting to the chase. No need to beat around the bush too much. I'm closing a little harder than I normally would, but definitely still not super, super strong. I'm not going for really specific plans. I'm going for a general sort of, we could do something sometime type of a plan. So her response was, drinks sounds good. And then on top of that, even she double texted again, I love Colorado, went to Breckenridge to ski twice. So again, clearly pretty invested, clearly trying pretty hard, all positive at this point. It's just a matter of like dotting your I's and crossing your T's, getting the number. So my next text was, sounds good, my number is what's yours, Todd? To which she immediately responded with her number. So that closes out the phone sequence. From there, we'd go to text and phone, and I'll get to that in the next segment.
Speaking.
Hey there, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. You sounded so formal. I felt like I was calling like a phone operator or something.
Yeah, I am outside right now.
Yeah? Cool. What are you up to outside? Just heading home from work?
No, I'm just shopping for grocery.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Oh, you do have an American accent.
Yeah, I do have an American accent. Your comment about me being American was so on point.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear some American accent because I'm not used to it anymore.
Anymore? You used to hear them a lot?
No, I mean, yeah, in the U.S. I just moved from the U.S.
Oh, really? I thought you were just visiting when you texted that. That's cool. Where did you live in the U.S.? I see. I thought it was going to be all like exotic and unique for you. I'm just going to be a boring American. I don't want to do that to you. Sorry.
Well, it feels good to hear some people that actually have an American accent, not from off the accent I don't understand.
Oh, really? How long have you been here in Australia?
Like, less than a week.
Oh, you just got here?
I just got here, yes.
Oh, really?
I was here like a month ago, and then I left. I went around in the U.S. and then I just came back.
Gotcha.
Yeah. How about you? How long have you been here?
About 3 days.
Really?
Yeah. I was going to ask you to show me around, but I guess maybe we'll have to show each other around.
Oh, are you touring here? Are you a tourist or you're like?
My company does a lot of.
Are you working?
My company does a lot of business down here. So I'm down here kind of holding down the fort for a while.
Cool. What kind of company?
I'm a public speaker.
What's that?
I'm a public speaker. I travel around, I talk. People listen. I don't know why they listen, but, they seem to, so it works out.
Public. Sorry, I didn't get whatever you said.
I said I'm a public speaker. I give speeches.
Public speaker?
Yes, ma'am.
Interesting. I never heard of that profession, but cool.
Yeah, what are you doing out here?
Saying,
Wow. That's why you're so serious.
I guess.
I guess. We have to get that serious out of you. We gotta have some fun, you and I.
Okay, well, okay. Well, I just didn't expect to talk to anyone at this moment. So.
Oh yeah, fair enough. What does your weekend look like? Especially what does tomorrow look like? I guess you're working till probably 5 or so?
No, I'm not working yet. I'm starting to work next week, so.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about, like, a mid-afternoon, like, champagne brunch with a cute American boy?
I feel good about champagne and brunch, but I'm not sure about a cute American boy part yet.
Oh, really? You're gonna go drink and eat alone?
Yeah, I need to see that.
Enjoy that. Enjoy your loneliness.
Actually witness it.
You actually do it?
I need to actually see it to say, yeah.
Oh, really?
He's a cute American guy.
Okay, let's do this. Let's set up a situation where there's a nice wide open like park, and I'll stand on one side, you can stand on the other, and if either one of us don't like it, we can turn and sprint.
I think that's a great idea.
You like that?
Okay, now
I have to warn you, I'm really fast, so you better bring your A game.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, cool. I'm in Surrey Hills area. Do you know where that is?
What's that?
I'm in Surrey Hills area at the moment. Do you know where that is, or not yet?
No, I don't know
Okay.
anything around here.
Let's do this then. Let's plan on meeting up around like does 2 or 3 work for you tomorrow?
Okay. Well, where? Send me the address.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll have to look it up because I'm not very familiar, but I'll text a nice place and then we can meet up and appraise each other from distance and go from there.
Yeah, and it's better to be can be like near. But where do you stay anyway?
It's Surrey Hills. It's just outside of the center of the city.
Just outside of center of the city.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's called Surrey Hills. Surrey Hills, I believe.
Surrey Hills. Oh.
Sorry, I don't have the accent. It sounds different when I say it.
Okay, yeah, Surrey. Oh, I know Surrey Hills. Right now I'm staying at somewhere very close to Surrey Hills.
Perfect.
But I think I have to be downtown for some apartment viewing.
Perfect.
In the afternoon. So,
Okay.
Surrey Hills, I heard that there are like a lot of good brunch places.
Yeah, it seems to be. I'll go online tonight and look something up, and I'll text you by early tomorrow at the latest. You'll have like time to appraise it as well. Okay?
Okay, awesome.
Okay, cool. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you.
All right, bye.
Okay.
Yeah, bye.
So you'll notice a few interesting things about this phone conversation. First of all, it starts off very logical, which isn't necessarily all that bad. It's okay to just have a kind of a get-to-know-you conversation at the start here. It lets her get comfortable, it lets you get comfortable, it lets some communication occur. Understand that the phone is for building attraction with these online situations because you haven't ever met her, so there's not a whole lot to lock you in yet. But it's also largely for building comfort. That's the main purpose of the phone in general, is for building comfort and setting dates. And so having that little bit of comfort at the start is acceptable. But then you'll notice that I do start escalating the situation quickly. I start making comments about us showing each other around, that sort of thing. So I start saying, and then I think I say like, something about getting a drink with like a cute American boy. And that's when I actually get a shit test. And that's fine too. Again, shit tests are a good thing. You just have to know how to pass them. In this case, how I passed it was by exaggerating the awkwardness of the situation. She's like, I'm okay with the drinks. I'm not so sure about the boy or whatever. So I exaggerated the like awkwardness of the online date. I said, actually, why don't we meet on opposite sides of the field? That way, like we can see each other, we can sprint away, that kind of thing. So that passed the shit test by the agree and exaggerate method. And it also made her laugh quite a bit, and then she immediately agreed to the date. So this is actually pretty straightforward for a phone conversation. I could tell that she was just sort of like a fairly straightforward person, a little bit like sort of almost business-like. She kind of had already agreed ahead of the phone conversation that, you know, drinks were a possibility. So there wasn't a whole lot to do in concept. And then a lot of it is just like arranging the details, making sure it was on my terms, etc. So pretty straightforward. Another important thing in terms of the end of the conversation is that I suggested plans first rather than waiting for her to suggest the plans. So that obviously puts things where I'm in control of the situation, which is very, very key. We talk about that in the setting the date on your own terms and setting the logistics and all that. So pretty much a cookie cutter example, but for the one shit test. And the shit test was actually really, really good for building value and getting things to move along. So very cookie cutter, but very, very good example.
Really cute. I like the layers. Very, very New York in your way.
Very New York? No, it's just very cold. I feel so cold.
Yeah, I know, right? What are you doing here in this lovely country? Here with me. Explain yourself.
I'm gonna start a new job on Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
You excited? Are you like, damn it, work again?
Yeah, exactly.
You're enjoying your time off?
Yeah. I've been doing nothing for 2 months, so to hear you talk more.
Hang on, so you have like a hair right in like your face. There you go.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but they do, so it works out. Basically, I started out when I was like 22.
So, how long are you gonna be in Sydney?
For this little trip, I'm here till middle of next week. Okay. And then I'll fly out, fly back.
To the U.S.?
No, Melbourne. I'm doing the Australian tour.
Oh wow, that's
So I'm hitting up all our Australian markets.
That's cool. So you're just like doing this like Melbourne.
Yeah, if you didn't have your job, I'd bring you around with me. We could be on the same flight, avoid the awkward, weird people next to you.
Well, my job may require.
And so you could have this like awkward, weird person next to you instead. So at least like weird but cute, so it's okay. You surprised me actually.
Why?
You're more innocent and more trouble than I expected all at once.
Innocent? Like what? I think innocent is the wrong word to describe me.
Good.
Even though people really think I'm innocent, I don't know why they got the idea.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's do a quick drink, and then we'll go take like a little walking tour. We'll figure this place out. How does that sound? Let's do a quick.
Which place?
Just this area.
Oh, sure.
Do you like to party?
Used to?
Used to? Well, you're like too old now?
I think I have my fair share of partying for a long time.
So
You were from Vegas,
in your
right?
old age? In your old age, no more?
I don't know. I'm still to be determined. I want to start a new life
Okay.
in Australia, so still trying to figure out what this new life means. Yeah.
Like I said, I'll show you around. If your ankle gets sore, I'll either carry you or send you home. But she's too sore. She can't hang.
No, it's okay. I can hang around a little bit, but I just realized how much stuff to do that I have to do, before I start working, like sign my life away.
I seriously can't decide with you because you fit a lot of stereotypes of very adventurous, and you fit a lot of stereotypes of very conservative, and I can't tell which to like expect from you. Well, you don't want to do tequila shots with me, really? You sure? I mean, I think we should keep it under wraps because I'm a bit of a lightweight and I don't want you to take advantage of me. But,
Yeah, of course not.
Literally, like, you have the like funniest hair sometimes.
What do you mean?
Well, because you have like your hair's very straight compared to my hair's like extremely curly, right?
Yeah.
So your hair does the things that I've never seen hair do.
What is hair supposed to do?
I don't know, curl.
Okay.
No, but it's like all like, okay, so like right here, right? It's all like little dainty little like.
I know, I'm just extremely lazy.
You're extremely lazy.
Yeah. I'm extremely
Okay,
lazy.
so
I don't do anything.
you're clumsy, can't find your way, you're dumb, and you're lazy.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, you're really impressing me right now. I'm so like intrigued by you. You're such a silly little girl.
And so,
Carolyn.
yeah.
I know I could look this up in 2 seconds, but how old are you? Just tell me so I don't have to look it up. I forgot.
30.
Really?
Yeah, how old are you?
32. I think we need to be highly immature this evening.
Who else is single?
Carolyn, I'd appreciate it if you didn't objectify me so much. I want you to like me for me. I'm not just a tall, handsome man. I'm also a human being. I'd like you to understand that. And I remember also, my eyes are up here, so like, you know. I need you to say, Todd, I think you're cute. Please come back.
It's not fun anymore. If I actually tell you exactly what you want to hear, right?
You can paraphrase. You can say it in your own words. Well, on the one hand, I'm a little offended that you don't think I'm cute sober. On the other hand, if you're saying we should get drunk and make bad decisions together, I'm potentially on board, but we should take it slow because I don't know you. Let me see something else?
Yeah.
Let's go with man this. You have like amazing hair.
So lazy.
So Carolyn, I still need that genuine compliment. I'm sorry.
Todd, I think you're kind of cute.
Yeah. Is that so hard?
It is very hard. Yeah.
Oh, you're tiny. You're so little. How does it feel to be tiny?
I'm not tiny.
Yes, you are.
I hope I'm
Your hands
tiny.
are cold too.
You know, like, yeah.
What am I gonna do with you? There's seriously a little part of me that wants to really enjoy you and like hang out with you, and there's a part of me that like thinks I should just like run away. Just get away from the bad influence as soon as possible. Finish your drink, we'll walk around for a little bit.
I really want to walk around. You know, there's not that much going on here, right? I walk around here a lot of times.
Well, if you're bored, don't want to do that, I guess you can go. I you know, instead of walking around alone, I thought I'd walk around with a cute girl. Come on, let's go, bro. Come on.
Go to the bathroom.
Okay, go do it. Hey, you.
Hey. So you're walking around?
Yeah, for a bit. Man, you're so little. Look at you.
Huh. Not that little.
Oh, you're so cute. Come on, let's go. Yeah, I was going to take you actually to come see my friend Tom as well, but I don't know if he's in. I think he's out at the moment. You'd like him though. He'd like you in particular.
Oh, why? So where are we walking to?
I don't know. We're just walking around, hanging out.
Okay.
Wanted to find another like quick place. I actually can't hang out for super much longer because I have to go meet a friend of mine.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I wanted to like.
I need to go back to
Yeah,
do my stuff.
that's why I wanted to find out if you can hang out later though, because I do enjoy you. All right, we'll go knock on his door. We'll see if he's there or not, and then go from there. He's just down this way. He's like 2 blocks that way, which I think is the same way you're going anyway. So.
Yeah. It is.
You gotta stop giving me that look.
Huh?
You have this look that you do,
What?
where it's like very sort of like devious. It's cute, but it's like very
Devious.
devious. You know the word.
I know the word, but I don't know what it means. I never saw. It's not like you have a mirror here, I can see.
There. On foot?
Completely dark, so I guess.
Yeah, we'll give it a knock and see. Yeah, we'll see. What's up, babe? Probably not home. So answer a question. Anything you want to know.
I need to work on my question list.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not good at asking questions.
Really? I'm sorry to hear that. Worst luck for me.
Oh.
Hey, what's up? Oh, Tom, how you doing? Hey, this is Tom.
Hi.
How you doing?
What's up? We saw it dark outside. I didn't think you were home. Tom, Carolyn. Don't call her Caroline. She'll get pissed off at you if you call her that.
As you watch that video, there's a few concepts I would really like you to take from it. Firstly, the fact that I'm making a lot of the dialogue about me and her. It's not a lot of just random conversation. Now, to be fair, this was about an 1.5 to 2 hour date, and we've cut it to 9 minutes. So the 9 minutes reflects a disproportionate amount of that sort of thing, because we've taken the majority of that sort of dialogue and taken out a lot of the more boring sort of factual dialogue. So don't think that your dates should be quite as relentless with this sort of thing as this is, but I'm guessing that in your dates there's almost none of this for most guys, right? They're not escalating, they're not making it man to woman, they're not flirting and teasing and making it about the girl. So do understand that what we have in this 9 minutes is probably maybe like 3 to 4 times as concentrated a dose of that as you would have in a normal date. You should be spreading it out throughout a longer period of time. You should have more normal conversation within it and then doing these escalations. but you do not, by all means or by all accounts, want a date that does not have these escalations. So it's absolutely a necessary part. And notice sort of how it starts out pretty light. It's sort of a light comment about the girl, and then it becomes more of a comment about us. And also notice that what we do activity-wise sort of escalates. We sit, then we go to the bar and grab a drink, we sit back down, we go for a walk, and then we go back to my friend's house, which is actually where I was staying at the time. So notice that gradual escalation, but notice that it is very continual. The other big thing I want you to notice about this particular date is the way that I seated the poll, taking her home, which is I didn't say, hey, let's go back to my place and have sex. Right? You will occasionally have dates where it's just so on that you can do that, but for the most part, girls want things to just happen. They want it to not be their fault. And so even if it is very on, in order to get her to come back to your place, you're going to have to just like make it not that much of a big deal. And in fact, if you're too hot and heavy and too sexual about it, it may actually turn them off, even in cases where it is very on. So I always say, get the logistics first. Make sure that they get to the right location where sex can happen before you get super, super physical. And you're going to see that theme over and over and over again in all my dates. One thing I'm extremely good at doing on dates is whether the girl's very, very hot and into me or not so on yet, I'm very good at getting her into a location where things can happen. And then from there, I know how to escalate. So in this case, there was some physicality. There was me like pulling the hair, like running my hand on her hands. That sort of stuff. There was some intimacy and all that, but it was not the most physical of dates. I didn't actually even like make out with a girl in a public place or anything like that. Whereas in most of my dates, you will see me, be making out before I take the girl home. But the key thing there is what we call baby stepping, moving it little by little. Instead of saying go all the way home, we go just to the bar, just back to the seats, just to the front of the bar, just for a walk, and then just to like in the direction of home, and then just in the door. It's little by little by little, because it's a lot easier to get agreement to small things into big things. So those are the themes I want you to get, okay? Number one, making it man to woman continuously. And then number two, baby stepping the take her home instead of trying to do it all at once. And again, remember with the man to woman stuff, I want you to learn that lesson. I want you to see the examples. And there are really good examples. I think the dialogue and the verbals are good examples that you can even just like straight copy. But understand that it shouldn't be so relentless. It should be interspersed with a lot more normal dialogue, which obviously we can't show you without boring you to death with hours and hours. But that's what you should take from this date. And I hope that this whole thing from text to phone to date has been very educational for you. It really is a template that you can use for your own dating.